Land bill is concerned, this has become the biggest political bone of contention for the Modi government. So what really are those options that the Modi government actually have when the budget session, the second phase of the budget session actually reconvenes? Option number one, concede ground. Accept defeat, that yes, there has in fact been like a mounting of opposition from all opposition forces, and thus they concede ground and then allow more amendments to their particular land bill. Option number two, allow consent and social impact clauses. Now, these were the clauses which are, of course, the main bone of contention, particularly for the Congress, the left, and other political parties. Point number three, mollify the smaller parties by consultation. Divide and rule. Find smaller parties, impress upon them, and get them by your side. So that can be one option. And point number four, which is in fact the last option that the government might want to consider, convene a joint session and bulldoze the land bill, railroad the land bill, and it will be very interesting to see what will happen if the government were to consider that as an option, because as of now we see that there is Modi and then there is the rest of the political class as far as the divide on the land bill issue is concerned. Let's now cut across live to Parliament, where we are joined in by Ashar Ahmed Khan. Morning, Ashar. Is that really an option for the government? Is that really an option for the government that they can railroad this particular land bill, their version of the land bill, by convening a joint session?
Well, Sanket, joint session is something which just cannot be convened like that. You need to have around 70 days of sittings of the House when this bill cannot be passed. So that will take a considerable amount of time. So even if you're looking at a joint session, what is expected is that it will only go through sometime early next year. But apart from that, we'll have to wait and watch and see that how the government plays its card as far as negotiating with the opposition is concerned. We've seen that the opposition, and especially the Congress party, is adamant on its version of the Land Acquisition Act, which it passed in 2013. Now, the basic point which the Congress party says is that when the BJP was ready and it supported the bill there, what suddenly happened in a year's time that they thought that this bill needs to be revamped completely. And the second point which the Congress party and the opposition makes is that what is the tearing hurry that an ordinance needs to be brought in. And basically there are three specific issues on which there is a bone of contention between the government and the opposition. The first issue of being about the social impact assessment. Now the opposition claims that in the current form, in the current ordinance, that social impact assessment is not there. Then there is the consent clause which is not there. Then there is action on officials who are not doing their duty immediately as far as land acquisition is concerned. So all these things the Congress party feels that the current government has not taken into consideration. And the another sticking point is that whenever there is an industrial corridor, 1 kilometer on each side of the industrial corridor can be acquired. Now the opposition says that this is nothing but crony capitalism. 1 kilometer of land on either sides of industrial corridor is something which is a little bit too much. So putting all these things into perspective, the Congress party and the opposition feels that the current form of the ordinance, which is pretty much enforced as we speak, is something with which they cannot go ahead with.
Absolutely, Ashar. Do stay on with us. In fact, in the first part of the budget session, it was a watershed one for the Modi government. The second part is going to be much more so. Now, the air of infallibility around the Modi government began dispersing when the budget session started in mid-February, exposing its vulnerabilities of how a determined opposition could make life difficult for the government. Now, the opposition seems more organized. Rahul Gandhi is back from his leave. Not that the Congress was listless during that period. Secondly, the CPM has a much more dynamic leader in Sitaram Yechury. Yechury has been one of the most vocal opponents of Modi in Rajya Sabha. Thirdly, the Janta Parivar, though largely nameless, is also putting up a united face, and it has the numbers in the upper house to make life tough for Narendra Modi. Now, Ashar, in the first leg of the budget session of Parliament, we saw that Rahul Gandhi was conspicuous by his absence, missing in action. This time around, the Congress is expected to hold its parliamentary party meeting, Just take us through what really is going to be Rahul Gandhi's role as far as the land bill strategy of the Congress is concerned, and what are the points where they have actually strategized?
Well, it is basically about floor management. Now, as far as floor management is concerned, well, I'm afraid that Rahul Gandhi does not cut much ice. In fact, it is the Congress President Sonia Gandhi who basically is the power figure who galvanizes the entire opposition together, be it in the lower house of Parliament or the upper house. Now, as far as the strategy meeting of the Lok Sabha Parliamentary Party meeting, these meetings are regularly held on every Monday whenever Parliament is in session, and every Thursday. So today being Monday, that meeting will attend. Now, Rahul Gandhi, by virtue of being the Vice President of the Congress Party and also a sitting Lok Sabha MP, he would definitely be present there. But basically, it is going to be these three people, that is the Congress President, the leader of the Congress Party in Lok Sabha, and the Chief Whip, who are going to basically strategize and galvanize the party. As far as sticking points are concerned, the basic thing would be to try and get their points across in Lok Sabha also, because the numbers are very less. There is precious little which they can do, but as far as negotiation is concerned, they can very well negotiate as far as the Raj Sabha is concerned. So basically, this meeting is on about what issues to be raised, whether the Masrat Alam issue should be raised, whether the Kashmir imbroglio should be raised, whether the Vyapam scam should be raised. So these are the issues which are discussed as to every day in the next 2 to 3 days. What are the specific issues which the Congress Party in Lok Sabha can raise in the 0 hour?
Very interesting.
This is why that meeting is
very interesting, because in none of these activities Rahul Gandhi fits the bill, because as far as reconciliation with other like-minded opposition parties are concerned, obviously they don't see much of a political figure in Rahul Gandhi, and that's where Sonia Gandhi will actually have to step in to get everyone on board. Many thanks, Ashar Khan, for joining us at this moment. As Rahul Gandhi launched his comeback bid by addressing a farmers' rally in the capital, opinions remain divided over whether the young leader can revive his party.